I hope you're all having an amazing week. You're getting some nice summer weather. I'm looking out the window today and it's very gloomy and dark, and it definitely feels that in my environment. So I hope you guys have a little bit better weather this week going into the weekend. But welcome back to our part two. We are doing refuel and rebuild post workout nutrition. If you guys remember, we did pre workout nutrition last month. So this is the second part of that series. If you haven't already taken a peek at that one, definitely a really educational webinar that you guys can work with the RAC team to review that recording. As always, welcome. My name is Ali Zozos. I'm Eat Love's lead dietitian, and I am putting on your webinar of the month. And then, as always, we're going to spend the last 5 to 8 minutes going through your Eat Love benefit that's included in your membership at the RAC, where to find it in your app, and how to get started if you haven't already. So let's talk about post-workout nutrition. And we'll leave several minutes for questions as well, but feel free to put them in the chat as we go at the same time. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to understand post-workout nutrition, how it supports muscle recovery, repair, and performance, learn how to structure our meals to replenish energy stores and support recovery, identify how timing impacts. Do we need to eat right after, or can we go a couple hours after we're done with our workout? We're going to dive into that topic as well today. And then walking away with simple, practical post-workout meal and snack ideas. And as a quick spoiler to this, the meal composition and breakdown isn't going to look that different than what it was pre-workout, because what happens, we use that storage during our workout and we're going to need to replenish it again. So if we nail one, we're going to be able to understand and really get through the next one. So why post-workout nutrition matters? So after exercise, your body is in that recovery state. It is saying, I need to replenish my glycogen stores. I need to repair and rebuild my muscle tissues, because you probably tore it apart to rebuild it, those little tiny micro tears, those muscle tears when you're doing a workout. Reducing muscle breakdown and fatigue so you can actually recover faster, show up for yourself, come back in the next day, maybe hit a different muscle group, or 3 days if you want to do like split workouts or hit legs or upper body a couple times a week. Your post-workout meals are going to directly play into how you show up for your following workouts the rest of that week. And then, of course, supporting better performance in future workouts. You don't want to show up tired, so you're going to show up as your best self and ready to go. But the recovery is where that progress is really happening. Of course, you're putting in the gains, you're putting in the time, but it can be spoiled if we are not being careful with how we are replenishing our bodies post-workout. So what that looks like at the quickest, simplest foundation is going to be workout, depletion, recovery. And it will be on that repeat every time we step foot into a workout class, into a workout session. So really locking in how that recovery process looks like is going to be key. So what happens after our body in that workout? So the glycogen stores that during exercise, those glycogen stores that we perhaps build up before we go in, topping off with a little bit of extra carbohydrate, those are going to be used for energy directly in that session. Muscle fibers experience that small breakdown. And then, of course, we're going to lose some fluid and electrolyte losses. So having a little bit of electrolyte at the same time is going to be beneficial, as well as depending on the type of activity that you're doing. Are you going to be on the treadmill running for a really long period of time? Are you in a high intensity workout class? Is it more low impact and weight focused? So after exercise, your body works to repair, rebuild, and refuel. And nutrients, of course, are going to help speed up that recovery process. So, of course, that recovery process is going to directly impact your the next day, the following days, how you experience muscle soreness, and everything in between. So what does that ideal post-workout nutrient combo look like? We are focusing on protein, carbohydrates, and fluids. So this formula looks very similar to your pre-workout. We may perhaps just be adjusting our carbohydrate to protein range depending on the type of exercise that we are doing. If we're doing a heavier lift, we may be replenishing with a bit more protein. Still, carb is going to be the main component of that dish, but it just means protein post-workout than it did pre-workout, because that's going to support that repair and rebuilding. And then carbohydrates are going to replenish those glycogen stores, help you restore energy if you are running on empty. Your brain, your body, your mental status will all feel it. So we definitely do not want to skip out on the carbohydrates with our post-workout timing. And then replacing any hydration and losses from sweat. So we're going to talk about a little bit of each of those in more detail. Starting with protein. How much do you need? So general guidelines of protein going to vary person to person. In terms of just protein generally, a very quick equation, and we'll talk about this on the Eat Love side as well, and how this can calculate that for you automatically. And then, of course, you can get more guidance from your rack dietitians as well. But it's simple with protein, without the pressure, without tracking, without doing anything intensive with numbers, aiming for 20 to 30 grams of protein after most workouts is a pretty good rule of thumb. Once we start to go over some combinations, what that looks like on your plate is going to become a little bit easier for you as well. So looking at this, it's not just going to be a plate of protein. Of course, we're doing the carbohydrates as well based on workout intensity. So the higher intensity, the longer duration of endurance-based exercise, you're going to have a bit higher carb. You can adjust your portions based on your body size, your goals, your training. So if we look at just the breakdown of some of like a strength workout, prioritize protein, some carbs. Endurance is going to be higher carbs and moderate protein. Lighter workouts, a very well balanced meal. When in doubt, a balanced meal. Having your macros present at each and every fueling opportunity, every time you sit down to eat, is going to be best practice, regardless of if you worked out that day or not. So fluids, a really fun, interesting way to track fluids is to weigh yourself before a workout and then just weigh yourself after your workout. Deduct for any fluids taken during that workout. This is really helpful to do in multiple different climates, whether you're inside or you're outside, especially different seasons, to kind of get a general rate of how you are losing sweat or how you're losing fluid loss during those types of workouts. Different types of workouts too. Endurance, of course, is going to lose a lot more than something that's low steady state or very low impact or just really strength. I know I don't sweat as much during strength workouts. They are harder for me, but I'm not sweating as much because you aren't exerting yourself at such a high heart rate at the same time. So adding electrolytes can be very helpful, of essential minerals. Those are sodium, potassium, chloride, magnesium, for heavy heat losses and prevents cramping and fatigue. So I love replenishing with the amount of water I drink on a daily basis. I always have like a little noon tablet or something that's like a moderate hydration. I don't necessarily need the robust, very, very high sodium packets. You'll see those in, like, I think Liquid IV has like 500 or so milligrams of sodium. And unless we are doing really high endurance-based activity, probably not necessary. But something like 100, 200 here and there for extra daily support of hydration, I'm a huge fan of those. So fluid loss, 1 pound, you're going to want to replenish with a pound of fluid, 16 ounces to 24 ounces as needed. And the quick way to just determine how much you're going to need is just that pre and post weight, and you can go from there. All right, so timing of our workouts, post-workout nutrition in that supportive recovery. You don't want it to be stressful. And if you are working out in the morning, you're more likely perhaps going to be able to replenish, and you have a full day to replenish after that. If you're working out like after dinner or very late in the evening where you've already had your last meal, you may be looking to tack on a little bit of an extra snack, but you don't want to go into the evening fasted on a workout that was very endurance based or just a difficult workout to get through. You don't really want to go into that depleted, have a night of fasting, wake up in the morning and you're already feeling behind, or you have a headache because you didn't hydrate properly. But the timing of your day and your workout is going to play into what that meal composition looks like and where to get started. So some easy tips and trips that we can go from the get-go, is aiming to eat within 1 to 2 hours after your workout. I think the myth of chugging a protein shake within a 30-minute window has been busted at this point. As long as you are eating something within 1 to 2 hours after your workout, depending on when your next meal is. Is this a snack? Is this a meal? Is it a more robust snack because you have a few hours until your next meal? but I'd say sooner may help your workout if it was longer or intense. But generally, whenever your body comes down from that natural state of activity, sometimes right away, eating something right away after your workout may not, your stomach may still be jostling a bit if it was a high intensity workout. I know when I get done with runs, sometimes I don't necessarily want to eat right away, but when it hits, and you want to be ready. So having a plan in place for when it does within 1 to 2 hours of eating something after your workout. If you did eat a full meal before, like an hour before, and you're doing lower impact workouts that day, timing may be less critical, but definitely depends on the feel that you went into that workout, how long and intense that workout was to dictate, and then also when your next meal and fueling opportunity is to have your post meal. Consistency is going to matter whether than that perfect timing. There's no time limit. There's no countdown clock that is telling you, oh, you didn't get it in within this 30 minutes or this hour, so all your gains are lost. That's not true. But you do want to stick to a consistency schedule. And if you're not able to stay consistent with it, then there could be another underlying factor as to why. Is it a planning piece? Is it education? Not sure what that meal should look like. Time is always a big one. I'm in a rush and I'm in a hurry and I need to get all these things done. So eating gets pushed to the next available time slot, which may be 3 hours from now. Having emergency snacks, having key things ready to go, and just having a plan in place is going to help you stay consistent over time. So some easy post-workout meal and snack ideas. Again, these look really similar to our pre-workouts with a little bit more protein to them. So protein shake and fruit, really easy one. We're looking at 20 to 30 grams of protein minimum, just with pretty much any type of protein that you add, unless you're doing like a non-protein powder shake, which you can do. I absolutely love silken tofu in this case, and then really amplifying that with fruits and veggies. I call it my plant-based power smoothie. I have one of those all the time. I always have silken tofu in the fridge. And then carbohydrates, about 20 to 30 grams, which should not be difficult to get if you're using like a cow's milk. If you want to throw in some oatmeal to that, fruits and vegetables, fruit specifically, bananas are going to give you a velvety texture. One large banana is probably 25 grams of carbs in itself. So not difficult numbers to reach if you're doing a protein shake. You do have access to the cafe or the market at Rack, and those shakes are in your app. So I'm going to show you where that's at today, which is really cool. So you can find out something that's going to work with the type of activity and workout that you did right in the club. Greek yogurt, granola and berries. Another really easy one that's going to be this guy right here. I love homemade granola, but of course it's store-bought in a pinch. It's a great option, especially it's going to be higher in carbohydrates. Berries are going to be a little bit lower in carbs than bananas, or you can have more of them. I think it's 1.25 cups. It's going to give you about 15 grams of carbs in itself. Greek yogurt also going to have some carbs to it, but have a lot of protein at the same time. Chicken, rice, and vegetables would be more traditional of a full meal. You can replace that protein with anything you want. Salmon, another type of protein. Rice, again, can be another type of grain, quinoa, farro, virtually anything. And then vegetables, up to you, dealer's choice, whatever vegetables you want. There's starchy vegetables, there's non-starchy vegetables. So things like leafy greens or broccoli are going to be more of those non-starchy vegetables. But if you're in the season, if we're in the fall time, things like sweet potatoes or just potatoes generally are going to be more starchy. Really great recovery meal option. Eggs, toast, avocados. This is going to have everything: healthy fats, carbohydrates, and protein. Protein coming primarily from your eggs here, and your toast may have a few grams here and there. So 2 slices of toast, 2 eggs would probably put you pretty close to 20 grams of protein. And then avocado, a tiny bit of carbs, and your toast will have your carbohydrate makeup. So 15 grams plus per slice. So we are well within those ranges here, depending on the type of bread and how thick your slice is. And then smoothie with protein, fruit, and milk. So you can have more robust protein shake if you want to add a little bit more fruit to it. Can get you definitely more carbohydrate, but just some easy ideas. We don't want to overcomplicate it. It's a very simple formula with a protein, a fat, and a carbohydrate. serving of each is going to serve you well, especially when it's balanced and consistent. All right, so looking at some key takeaways here, post-workout nutrition is going to help you, one, recover faster and feel less fatigue. That's priority number one. Support muscle repair and performance. Those tiny little muscle fibers are breaking down and we want to rebuild them. This is the perfect opportunity to do that. You cannot rebuild while you are in a workout phase, but you can rebuild post-workout. Replenishing energy for your next workout so that you show up as your best self, and then building consistency for your routine on there. So the focus is going to be on protein, carbs, and hydration. So we talked about that formula here and what those makeup may look like. Simple and consistent habits are going to reign supreme over inconsistency or having a perfect week and then nothing the following week. And then what works for your lifestyle. Your timing is going to play a huge factor into this. And we just had a really great upgrade on the timing of it all. So if you want more specific recommendations and a specific timing schedule, your rack dietitians are going to be best equipped to help you with that. So let's look at your in-house nutrition program with Eat Love. Again, guys, feel free to put any questions in the chat box and we will get through what we can today with the few minutes that we have left. But this is a resource available to you included in your rack membership. So just to kind of give you a walkthrough of where you can find it, you will click on your rack app. You will go to the tracking at the bottom of your screen here. And then Eat Love is going to be in that top right-hand corner. Now, if you've created your profile already, it'll just open up the Eat Love homepage. It'll look exactly like this with whatever meal you have scheduled in here. If you have not completed onboarding yet, it will look like this. And then you can click complete your profile. You'll be asked a series of questions. Should take you 2 or 3 minutes to get through it. And then you receive what I refer to, and many team members do as well, Spotify for food. So with that, I'm going to share my screen on the other side or my other monitor. Fingers crossed my technology works today. All right, it is loading and there we go. So this is what we call Spotify for food, a series of meal recommendations that are always on, ever flowing for probably weeks in advance. I could expand this view and I do see that I have tons of meal options for weeks and weeks in advance. Now, these are recommendations. These are not things that are going to be set in stone for you. We want you to swap. We want you to add your own recipes. We want you to make this your own. But we want to make it easy for you. We want to take the stress out of the meal selection itself, knowing that it's going to be supportive towards your goals. So in this case, this nutrition prescription is a decreasing sodium, so lower sodium plan. You have the option to choose any one of these goals, health conditions, really anything that's going to work for you. If you guys have questions or if you have 2 ideas, that's a great opportunity to visit your dietitian team at the rack and just have them make you something custom. If you have 2 conditions or you have 2 goals in mind or a condition and a goal in mind, and you really just want to smash them together and say, I want a super profile with the correct macro balance, a correct timing pattern that really matches my schedule and my workouts. So they can definitely help you with that, but you can get an idea of what's available to you to just use right off the cusp. You can hit next and you'll see your meal schedule, even down to timing, which is so cool. Again, if you need these times adjusted, your rack team can help you adjust those. They can even rename these. So this could be post-workout snack, or maybe your snack is in the morning, so you choose a different timing pattern where snack is before breakfast. So this allows a super specificity to come to your meal pattern. And then you can add any avoidances that you have and be good there. But every template is going to have your own macro breakdown and key nutrients. So in this case, this is what it looks like for this test patient here. Portion size, weight goals, and then tips for success. Just little helpful education reminders of what to be mindful of for your specific goal, in this case, decreasing sodium. So every single day, if I were to hit this little button right here, I have met all of my daily needs without having to think about it. And that is the goal that we're after. So if I don't want to eat this and say, oh, well, my day is already perfectly planned. If I don't want to eat this for breakfast, I failed, is incorrect. You have the ability to swap at any time and choose something that still matches your nutrition profile. And your nutrition profile would be up here, fits your nutrition requirements. And then you can pick anything: simple ricotta waffles, egg scramble. You can load more choices, as many as you wish. And you can even keyword search for something if you really want eggs for breakfast and you still want it to match your nutrition profile. You can do something super simple, more of an omelet style or a scrambled egg style, and your numbers are still going to match your daily totals. So you don't have to worry about breaking anything or falling off the wagon. Elove is here for you to pick a meal that looks good to you in the moment that still keeps your nutrition profile intact. Now, another really cool way that you can use the swap option is through the restaurant meal. I say watch this space because we have some really exciting updates coming. But if I wanted to go with whatever is currently on menu, these are usually popular restaurant chains like Starbucks. I can get smart choices that are directly integrated into the platform. And then if I search where you guys are, I'm down here in Texas, but if I wanted to go to Rochester and I wanted to go to the market, there we go. Here you guys are. And here is the market at Rack. So I have a whole bunch of smart choices that match my dinner. And I can learn why things aren't a perfect fit. But a really insider tip here is if it's the first thing you schedule for the day, you'll probably have more smart choice options. And then you can build around your meal that way. So I can learn why this specific at this time of day is not a good smart choice for me. But if I schedule it first, I'm going to have a lot more options. So you can see your smart choices in here and can plan around that. When you are ready to add your meals to your grocery cart, and you can do as many meals or as little meals as you want. This is a full meal feed for the week. Personally, I schedule 4 or 5 dishes. I have 2 dinners with a leftover, 1 lunch, and 1 breakfast. And then I always have my go-tos, which is yogurt and fruit or salad stuff. I always have eggs on hand so I can do hard-boiled eggs for really quick protein sources. But on top of that, I always have something planned. It makes it exciting to actually sit down and make something new for the week, but also not overwhelm me at the same time, because 4 to 5 times in the kitchen is plenty. I don't need to make something new for breakfast every single week. I'm never going to do that. And if you share that sentiment, this is going to be a really good platform for you as well. You get your ingredient list, your cooking methods, how much you're eating, if you have any family members added to that, and then of course your nutrition information for that dish. Now, family size too. So in this case, I don't have family turned on, but maybe I want to add 1 person right here so that when I do add it to my grocery list, it's scaled appropriately for 2 people. If I want to add any leftovers, I can manage leftovers. I can add another leftover here for dinner. Maybe I want to add it for lunch, but only 2 people are good, or only I'm going to eat for lunch right here the following day. So I'm able to go ahead and schedule that in my meal feed so that it updates accordingly. Leftover, added to my cart appropriately. And then I get to my grocery list and I can continuously add a few things if I want to add more, but then you get your auto-populate grocery list right in here. You can check off items that you already have, add additional things if you want to. If you're curious as to why you need the ingredient and in the quantity that you need, if you hit the expand button here, you can see exactly what you need. In this case, I need a lot of lemon juice. So 2 lemons would be great, but maybe I have one for last week, or maybe I have lemon juice already in a bottle and I don't actually want to go through the fresh lemon piece of it with squeezing it out. So I can always remove that from my list of not something I need to buy this week. And you can do the same for really anything in your meal plan, whether it's produce, whether it's pantry items, and then you can buy online. One of our third-party integrations, Instacart has, of course, more than these partners based on your geolocation. So you can pick your partner once you ship it out to Instacart when you buy online and hit next. Now, a couple other things I want to highlight for you in here is the meal search. Whenever you complete your profile and access to Eat Love, you will automatically grant nearly 8,000 recipes. I have some edited ones in here, so my number is a little bit higher in my fake profile. But for you guys, you'll have close to 8,000 dietitian approved meals. These are well-rounded meals. You can filter for virtually anything. You could search for a specific dish. You could do a cuisine type. Your entire family, this could be a really great way. If the meal feed is your Spotify for food, I call this the Pinterest board of endless inspiration. So you can find a recipe in here, use a keyword, use the filter, find something that you think the family will really like. You can copy the link and share it in your family group chat and say, how does this chicken parm pasta skillet look for dinner on Thursday? You get everyone's input, boom, good. You're going to go ahead and schedule it directly in. Thursday was yesterday, so next Thursday, dinner, add to schedule, add it to your grocery cart, gets everyone involved, gets you excited to make a few new things. But you have endless opportunity and inspiration to choose from with these meals already baked into the system. We do have a Nutrition Academy in here, so if you're looking for any nutrition related handouts, resources, this is a really great place to start. And then also going to your RAC team for more advice and guidance, of course. And then the last piece is the daily log. So we have the planner, we have the grocery shopping, we have the delivery. The last piece is, what did you actually end up eating? You will always see your nutrition profile loaded up here to help guide you how you're doing for that day. Because I could say, I didn't eat this for breakfast. Or I didn't eat this for lunch, or, I'm not going to get to that for lunch. I can see in here, I now have 830 calories left because I'm missing 2 meals. And I'm under in a lot of key nutrients, under in fiber, carbs, protein, fruit, which again makes sense because I don't have 2 things filled in. Now I can quickly add whatever I did eat. It doesn't have to be a recipe from Meat Lab, it can just be a food database. I can hit quick log, I can turn my microphone on the app, and I can just speak into it. I can say 1 cup blueberries, 1 cup Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon chia seed, log my food. It's going to log for you. It's going to update your nutrition information, and you can see how you're doing for the day with immediate results, and then make changes if you need to. So same thing with lunch. And then you can say add food for lunch. And I want a smart choice. So something that still fits within my nutrition prescription because I log breakfast the way I log breakfast. Easy. I'm going to stay within my goals because Eat Love is helping me close the gap to that. So I'm going to pause there and see if you guys had any questions. From the Eat Love side, hello@eatlove.is for any questions, concerns, things you guys want to troubleshoot with us. Happy to help. And then your RAC dietitian team is going to be the best place to go for any questions related to your prescription, setting up more specificity, combining things together, and getting that accountability right within the club. I did want to see, I did not create that poll. Have you created your Eat Love profile yet? Yes, no. Okay, so quick poll real fast before I let you guys go. We're right at time. So if you have created your profile, just hit the yes button. If you haven't, hit no, and then hit not sure if you're not sure. But if you go back through the steps that we talked about today, when you log into your RAC app and you go to tracking, you're going to see it right in this top corner. And it's either going to take you to your meal feed, what we saw together, or it's going to take you to this screen, and then you're going to walk through onboarding to get to that end. And again, it's including your membership. So definitely a resource and benefit for all of you guys to get started with, especially if you haven't done it already. It looks like we're about 50-50 on the call today. But excellent. I hope you guys have a really great rest of your Friday, a great weekend. Let us know if there's any topics that you want to learn more about. We're heading into the thick of summer for next month. I can't believe this is already our June webinar. Typically in the summer, I love to present things on hydration and fun barbecue ideas, just because being outside is just the time. This is the time to do it. And summer cuisine, in-season produce, summer cuisine is my absolute fave. You can just make so many delicious, fresh things that I just don't feel like hit the same in the fall. So corn, tomatoes, avocados. Just this is such a great peaches. It's such a great season for these. Everything is just bursting with flavor. So to be able to find some of those recipes in the platform just get really exciting. So we may position that one for next month. We may have some other ideas in mind. So I will see you guys then. Have a great weekend, and we will talk soon.